What's up, everyone? It's Wacka. Welcome you to finals of SPS Paldex off season. We are finally here at the end of the second off season in a row. Last time of which I believe I was also a finalist. Um, who the fuck did I face? I don't remember, but it was somebody. And this time we've made it to finals against not Adam, who has changed their team like quite significantly. They end up dropping a lot of their like bottom tier, almost rubbish, and traded it all for Terra Saraledge, which I think was like 14 points. So they dropped like Lantern, Terra Braviary, and Registeel, all for Saraledge. And they took Terra off Charizard, so I didn't have to worry about Terra Charizard this time. But Terra Saraledge is a force to be reckoned with. You have to play around it like very specifically, and you have to be very careful around it. Um, so what did I do? Considering the matchup changed like quite a bit, um, it's kind of funny because I was still scared of like the same mons. Although unironically, I wasn't really scared of Tinglu. Um, I thought if he was going to bring Tinglu or Pecha, he'd bring Pecharunt, but um, I was expecting Shaman Sky, Tinglu, uh, Thwack, Screamtail, Ogerpon, and Saraledge. Maybe slotting Torkoal over somebody else, but if he's gonna slot Torkoal in, it would probably be over like Pecharunt. And I thought maybe he would slot Torkoal in over somebody because I have Rain, and I figured maybe he'd want to combat that because he has three fire types. Um, or at least three mons that get stab on fire because Sarah just probably not going to be Terra Fire in this matchup. If he even does that, I figured he'd probably be like Terra Fairy. I was expecting Terra Fairy on Saru and I think Quack. Actually, no, I think I was expecting like Terra Electric on Quack. Um, Probably running like triple Axle for Garchomp. But yeah. So what did I bring? Garchomp is still on the pace, running Earthquake, Scale Shot, Swords Dance, and Spikes. Um, I wanted something to. What did Garchomp even really do in this matchup? Garchomp is just all around like a decent mon in this matchup. Um, I can get up spikes. I outspeed some of his scarier threats like Saru, um, Torkoal, Quack. I outspeed his Terra Captains basically. So that's kind of why I brought it. I did really consider running Ironhead on my set. Um, Unfortunately, or however, I didn't run Ironhead. I don't really know why, because I don't know when I would have had a chance to click SD. So yeah, I would have definitely run Ironhead. Um, Keldeo is not coming to this game. I tried to make a set that worked. And I actually don't have my paste from last time because I'm on my new computer. So I don't remember what I brought. I think it was Terra Electric because I did watch the replay. However, Keldeo didn't come out on the field a single time. Um, so I kind of forgot what the set was, and I know that I was Terra Electric for Screamtail T Wave. I did not want to get Thunder Waved, basically. But I figured that I it was a little bit too slow against Screamtail and Ogerpon for me to like want to really bring it. Um, and I opted to instead bring Basculegion, Basculegion female actually, running Swift Swim, Surf, Shadow Ball, Ice Beam, and Manual Rain Dance. Also having Terra Electric and holding leftovers because Screamtail doesn't do a lot of damage, but if I can catch it trying to like T-Wave me on my Terra Electric, um, after taking like a big hit from like Ogerpon, then I can get like some leftovers recovery back and then potentially live like the next hit. Um, Going back up to Weavile, who I don't think we've seen like at all this season. I brought it once, but I believe I don't think it did anything. I'm pretty sure it died like immediately. Um, but I'm running triple axle, knockoff, ice shard, and baton pass. So baton pass is for like oracles, so I can pivot out and also read him on doubles. Um, because Weavile outspeeds everything except for Shaman Sky, but Shaman Sky is very much threatened out by Ice Shard. Um, and if I'm using manual rain, then I'm not really scared of like speed boosting Screamtail basically. Um, excuse me, and because last time I didn't bring Mandibuzz, Triple Axle helped me break through Ogre Pond, so I didn't have to deal with Sturdy. So that's why Weavile's coming. Archaludon is on the bench this time, so yeah, no Keldeo, no Archaludon. Like they've been through thick and thin this season, but both of them get the break they deserve. So next up is Pelipper, which I'm running Surf, Hurricane, Rain Dance, and Roost. Having Mano Rain on Pelipper doesn't seem to make sense, but I think to me it did because, again, in case like they start doubling around with like Corkle, and like I would expect like Ogre Pond to be like doubling around. I can click Manual Rain on like a Sun thing, so I figured I'd run that, and I figured I probably wouldn't want to click U-turn, knowing that Terra Ceruledge exists, in case that ever came out in like Terra and then like switched out to come back in later. So we have that. My fifth mon is going to be Fezandipiti. I believe it might be running like the same exact set. If actually, I don't remember what my set was last time. I can't remember if I was physical, if I was like poison jab. I feel like I was sludge bomb moonblast, but I'm running sludge bomb moonblast U-turn roost. I'm running it faster than. Am I running it faster than Quack or am I running it faster than Petrunt? I think I'm running it faster than Petrunt, although I don't really know why I did that. But I did. Um, it's basically just like timid and max HP, so like a bulky, fast support mon that can revenge kill potentially like Terra Fury Ceruledge or even Quack if Quack isn't like Aqua Step. But according to the last time we played, Fez lived in Aqua Step just fine at +1, I believe. So there's that. Um, our last mon is Bronzong. Uh, Running Gyro Ball, Psychic Noise, and Rest Sleep Talk. Um, Rest Sleep Talk is a little bit weird, but I actually thought Bronzong matched up decently well into some things here. Like it can live a hit from Quack. It does pretty well against Ogerpon and Shaman in case I need to use Fez against like Screamtail. Um, I feel like I almost benched Fez this week for like I don't even freaking remember. It might have been like Vikivole or even Brambleghast. I considered every single mon in this matchup, bringing it, um, just so y'all are aware. But yeah, I ran Rest Talk Bronze on this week because I figured it would help me a little bit more. Um, and I was expecting Ogerpon to knock me off, so I had Colbur Berry. Um, but Gyroball and Psychic Noise don't really help me against Tinglu. I think I was just betting on the fact that they wouldn't bring Tinglu, so what ends up happening? Well, as you can see, there is, in fact, a Tinglu. There is no Sun, uh, so no Torkoal, no Charizard, and no Pecharunt. So these are the 6 he brought. Screamtail, Tinglu, Ogerpon, Cornerstone, Shaman Sky, Ceruledge, and Quackleval. For some reason, Quack. No, it looks fine actually. I was thinking it was a little bit off, but I think we're fine. Um, so those are the 6 he brought. Um, it is revealed that he is Terra Fairy on Ceruledge and Terra Electric Quack, which is basically what I expected. However, I didn't really know who he had Terra. I think he was gonna Terra Quack I was pretty confident that he'd Terra Quack, um, and then hope that Seralege can do something with its Fire Ghost typing against like this team. Um, because I figured he'd want to kill Pelipper with like Terra Blast, otherwise Pelipper just kind of walls Quack out. So getting things started, I actually lead with Weavile, expecting him to maybe lead with Ogerpon. However, I'm gonna baton pass into Fez because I am very scared of this thing having T-Wave. Like, I did not want to deal with like the T-Wave bullshit again, like he did last time. He is gonna get up rocks, and I do have no way to remove it, so rocks are up to stay. However, I am leftovers on Basque Legion, so it ends up kind of being like enough for me. I'm gonna get up a Rain Dance, and then I'm gonna click Ice Beam. The reason I clicked Ice Beam there is because I just wanted to see if I could freeze the Ogre Pawn and then not have to waste health on my Basque. And if he crits me with Ivy Cudgel, I just die. But I end up getting lucky. I didn't get a crit, and I do get some health back on my recovery. Then he ends up waiting like a second and then sends in Shaman Sky. So I was like, oh, um, I'm honestly gonna assume this is Scarf, but I think I want to know if this is Scarf before I do anything. So he Seed Flares. So I wasn't expecting them to Seed Flare. I thought he would go for Earth Power, but I think he was scared of Bronzong coming in. So I'm gonna bring in Weavile now. Seed Flare is not gonna kill Weavile, so I'm just gonna go for my knockoff. I end up knocking out the Babiri Berry, which is what is Babiri? That's the Steel type berry, right? I think it is. It's possible he wanted to do something to the Bronzong, but I'm not sure. Or he wanted to live like Ironhead from Chomp if possible. So I bring in my Bronzong as I expect Ting Lu to come in, so I'm gonna actually double into Weavile. Very nice that I'm running heavy duty boots. Triple Axle is gonna land. He is weakness policy, which is kind of crazy. I really like the bring. Earthquake is gonna knock me out. I was honestly expecting him to like body press me anyways and kill me like no matter like what he was gonna do. So that's fine with me. I'm gonna surf the Ting Lu, so I end up losing my basically my two like breakers like pretty early. But he also lost like his Ogerpon is dead. Ceruledge and Quack are initially pretty slow, and I have a decent switch in. I have two pretty good switch ins to Shaman Sky. So I still feel pretty confident here, and that I can kind of just I'll actually go hard Chomp. Actually, for some reason, I thought I stayed in with Pelipper and clicked Hurricane, but I think the reason I didn't is because I was scared of him clicking Terra Electric Terra Blast like immediately. Although I don't, in hindsight, I don't know why I was scared of that. When I think if he Terra Electric and killed Pelipper, I can basically just kind of click Earthquake with Chomp and then Scale Shot the Sarah Legend. I'm pretty sure like loaded dice Scale Shot will just like kill Sarah if it's a weak armor. So I don't really know why I did that. But he Aquaceps doesn't kill me. And I end up getting off one, two, three, four, five scale shots. Thank you, loaded dice, for giving me the five. If I got the four, game would have been over because he had Terra Electric. Um, and he ends up being Terra Fairy SD Ceruledge, which I expected, but because he's Balloon, I had no way of touching the Ceruledge, which is funny because I was like, damn, I really almost brought Ironhead on the Garchomp, and if he SD'd, well, I was skill shotted up, so I would have outsped. He would have had to go for Sneak, I guess, but it was kind of crazy. Like, I really could have gotten some progress on the Ceruledge, but no, I have to pray that Pelipper, like, doesn't get crit by Poltergeist so I can chip it a little bit. I go for Hurricane, which is kind of weird. In hindsight, I think I should have just went for Surf because a Surf would have done a lot more damage, and I wasn't really thinking because Fez is a lot faster. Not a lot. Well, I mean, it's not a lot faster than Ceruledge, but I am faster than Ceruledge, and it had already used its Terra, so I don't really know why I didn't click Surf. But yeah, Fez is going to come in. He ends up switching out, which I thought was strange. He is gonna I am going to get a poison with the Sludge Bomb. Um, and because of that, I was like, you could wish up, I guess, but I'm just gonna sack the Garchomp here because I do not want Fez to get T-waved at this point. Fez at this point is my win con. So he's actually gonna switch on to Shaman Sky, which I thought was also kind of weird. But seeing that he's healing, which makes sense. I ended up clicking Roost because I figured that um it was probably gonna Healing Wish again because that's what he did last time. And roosting up made me at full health, which I believe I need to win this game. And also if he Earth Powers, then I end up winning the 1v1 against Earth Power, and then he'd be locked into Earth Power, and then I could kind of like work around that. And I'm Covert Cloak, so you can't lower my special defense. So I do get the Sludge Bomb poison, thankfully. Poltergeist is going to see my Covert Cloak as she Shadow Sneaks. Sludge Bomb is going to win me the game, so yes, Fezandipiti wins chips, guys. Thank you, Fez. Um, Fez actually kind of carried my playoff run because I believe against Lunar, I sent in Fez and then he forfeit against it, so technically Fez like got kills against Lunar, even though it really shouldn't have because Fez was like complete garbage against Lunar, but yeah, Fez really carried out this game here. Um, it got some pivotal chip on, well, probably pivotal chip on like Screamtail. It beat a fucking Ceruledge. Like a mon that its dual stabs are technically resisted by Ceruledge beats Ceruledge. It beat Shaman Sky, which is probably a mon that shouldn't be allowed in draft format. You would think that Shaman Sky would be fine, but considering I had like two of its best counters being Bronzong and Fez, like I still did not want to deal with the stupid Shaman Sky. Like that mon can just do too much. Um, so thankfully I get lucky and I end up winning. Because Bronzong was not gonna beat Ceruledge at the end, so I'm very happy that it didn't have to come down to that. The poison definitely saved me, although my Toxic Chain didn't even proc, so I guess Toxic Chain should have procced at that point. Um, Sludge Bomb and Toxic Chain have a good chance of poisoning regardless, so yeah. GG's to Adam. I believe he won last season's Usum in the other division because I wasn't in the same division as them, but um, both of us being finals last time and also this time was pretty cool. Um, and yeah, um, to all the people that said that Rain wasn't good in Gen 9, fuck you, because every time I draft Rain in Gen 9 with Garchomp for some reason, it wins. It gets the chip, because that's what happened. The first time I played Paldex, I drafted Rain. Um, it was a little bit more like hardcore Rain, but I don't think I used Pelipper as much as I did this time, because I think this time I was like, Basculegion, the games I brought Bass was good, and then the games where like Keldeo was like trying to kill stuff, like Rain with Keldeo was just really good. Um, so I opted to bring Pelipper a lot more than I think I should have, but yeah, if you really need like a strategy that can help you win something, draft Rain. Like as long as weather rocks are allowed, like I would definitely recommend drafting Rain over like other weathers because people say it sucks, but in my opinion, like at least to me, like I have the proof saying that it doesn't suck, you know. But yeah. Anyways, I guess something that I do at the end of every season is I rank all of my team members. So, with that said, okay, so where would I start? I usually go to like the draft board to do this. Why am I looking at Mega Galade? But I'm just gonna go like off of this because I don't feel like remembering everything that was on my team. So I think the worst mon on my team was Weavile. This for being like my third pick in the draft, like I only brought it to 2 games out of like 6. Or yeah, no, yeah, it would have been 6. I don't know if I plan on bringing it against Dawson. I actually don't remember. Let me look at Dawson's team. Oh my gosh, Dawson, Ival, Cinder, Crown. I think I did. I think I did plan to bring Weavile to this game, but I don't remember prepping for this team, to be honest. So I guess that's my fault. I can't give Weavile the credit for like attempting to show up. But like for a third round pick, like I expected to use it more, and I suppose this is a lesson that I've learned with Weavile like over and over again, is that it has a really good offensive typing, but sometimes it's just really walled out by a couple things, and like you can't really justify bringing it. Um, but it is a really good speed tier, and it does have priority. It does have knockoff and triple axle to help you break through subs. Like it has a lot of good qualities. But it is hard to justify bringing. Although I will say, like part of that justifiable thing is that I would rather use my Garchomp and then like Rain with like Keldeo, Pelly, or Basque. Um, Archaladon showed up to a lot of things, and Archaladon is like kind of part of the Rain core. And then you got like Fez, Mandy, Bronzong, and at that point, that's 8 Mons plus these 2 low tiers that showed up once, and then there's Weavile. I'd say next up, Bramblegast. I don't think Bramblegast like clicked any buttons. I think I switched it in on something like a couple times, and then it ended up just not doing anything. But yeah, it was Bramblegast. I think he is a goated Mon. It was just I didn't really have the matchup where I wanted to use it. And I almost brought it against this team, but apparently Air Slash isn't like a wind move, so it didn't wall Shaman Sky, which is why I didn't bring Bramble. Otherwise, it would have been Bramble um, over something. I don't know who it would have been. I think probably over Fez. I almost brought Mandibuzz over Fez, but thank the fucking lord that I brought Fez. Um, Next up, I'd say Vikavolt, because Vikavolt is my other mon that came to 1 game, but it did really good in the 1 game it came to. It would have done a lot more in that game if the forfeit didn't happen. So there's Vikavolt, but I really didn't consider using it like at all this season. Like it was on the screen, but I didn't consider it in like any game except for that one. I actually did consider it in finals. I actually thought like agility went pretty hard in finals, but um I figured that a lot of his mons just hit hard enough or just live to hit to not justify me like clicking agility and then getting whirlwinded out basically. Um, Next up, probably not Fez, Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz didn't really show up to a lot of games. I think I only brought it to 2 games. It is a pretty consistent mon though, and I like using it a lot. That's kind of all I have to say about it. Um, who next? Who next? Probably Pelipper. Um, Pelipper did kind of carry out the rain, but I think Basculegion in rain under Pelipper only happened I think like once and did something, so I can't really say too much. I think the rain did help Keldeo like a little bit, but overall like Pelipper itself didn't really like do too much this season. I mean, I think my other mons kind of facilitated things better. And then I'd probably say like Bronzong. No, not Bronzong. I think Basculegion's next. I didn't really use Basculegion as much as I thought I would. I thought going into this that Terra Basculegion would be like really broken, but I kind of opted to Terra Keldeo instead, and that might have been like a draft plan. Like Terra Keldeo is like really good oversight, whereas like Terra Water Basculegion in Rain like theoretically should have been like a better choice in most games. But it is a bit reliant on the weather, and if I'm running adaptability, then I'm not running Swift Swim. So that's like kind of a problem with Basque. And if you're running Swift Swim, then you're not hitting as hard as like Barraskewda would. And I think that's why people consider Barraskewda better to be Basque Legion. I don't know if I agree with it because I've never used Barraskewda, but I personally enjoy Basque Legion a lot more than both of them. I think next up I'm actually gonna say Archaludon because Archaludon was like I think it had like 2 games where it did something. Otherwise, it really didn't do too much. But it was just kind of there. I kind of like that it was a good bulky attacker, and it just kind of sat there and clicked buttons in a lot of matchups. But if you run up against like a special wall, then good luck. If you run up against a special attacker, good luck. Body press is a thing, but um, it's not stab, and it's kind of weak to start. So like you have to wait a little bit for body press to actually start doing work. And I don't think I ran body press. Next up, probably Bronzong. Um, I thought Bronzong would be a lot lower on my rating, but Bronzong definitely like saved a lot of games it came to. Um, Jaraball and Psychic Noise is very good. It was pretty good at getting up rocks as well. It has decent coverage with Earthquake and Ice Spinner. Like Ice Ground coverage is really good coverage, and it's very consistent coverage too. Ice Spinner gets rid of terrain so that Earthquake can do more damage, you know? Um, yeah, Earthquake would be affected even if Bronzong is levitating, right? That makes sense. Um, Next up, probably Fezandipiti. I can't rate Fez over, uh, actually, no, I'm gonna say Garchomp next. Um, Garchomp actually didn't really do that much. But Rough Skin plus Earthquake was enough to justify me bringing it to every game, except I think one game I didn't bring it to. I wouldn't really say it MVP'd like any of my matchups compared to these other mons like Bronzong did. Like Bronzong, Keldeo, Archaludon, Vikavolt were like the MVPs of like very specific matchups, but I don't think Chomp like specifically did anything. So yeah. Then we got Fezandipiti, and basically it's because Fez was the MVP of finals. But it also did really well against Adam the first time we played, um, where it lived a hit from Quack. It switched in on Shaman Sky, which is a mon that should be banned. It facilitated pivoting pretty well with U-turn overall. And just something to take a hit and do some damage back, and that's all Fez has to do. Fez doesn't, it don't have to hit the steel types. You don't have to run Technician Double Kick, Pair Fighting, Choice Band to hit the steel types. You just need it to click U-turn in most matchups and you're fine. And of course the MVP, which unfortunately didn't show up to the finals game, is Keldeo. Keldeo was just phenomenal the whole time. Vacuum Wave was great. Uh, Terra Water Surf was just awesome. I don't even think I ran like specs Terra Water Surf, but like I ran other Terras. Terra Electric was really good on it. I like Terra Electric. Terra Ground is decent on it. Legend ZA gave it freaking Earth Power, so it wouldn't even have to run Terra Ground to get like ground coverage anymore. We'll see if it keeps Earth Power and Ice Beam. Ice Beam would have been pretty helpful in this game, for example, but um yeah, that is my thoughts, and thank you guys for watching. I did not record a video for SDS Week 9. There was only like 3 games played, so I decided to not record, and because of that, SDS and SPS are both done. So, with that said, I am in no leagues currently, and I think there's nowhere that's even like signing up for anything. I think the only thing going on is CLDL, but I believe nothing will be happening until April, and that's when Diamond, Pearl, Platinum will start. and I will be signing up for Gen 4 and Gen 5. Gen 3 was like a lot more fun than I expected it to be, so I am excited for Gen 4 and Gen 5. I expect myself to actually not like Gen 4 and 5 as much as I theorized that I would, but either way, that'll be happening. And because I'm in no leagues, I have some ideas as for like videos that I might do before Champions comes out. We got like a month to like a little under like a month and a half probably. So expect something, but there will probably be like no draft game content until like very end of April or like mid May even. Um, I'm a bit burnt out from draft, and I really didn't even want to like build for playoffs this season in SPS, so we have that. But for like the eighth time, thank you for watching and have a good day.